The mic is hot. The mic is hot. Oh, snap. Can y'all turn y'all phones off? Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good afternoon, good morning.
Good afternoon, good morning, and good night to everybody that is watching us. It's a blessing to be on this morning or this afternoon, depending on
What time you're watching this?
What time you're watching this or what time you fell asleep. Today we have a special podcast for y'all. We're doing something different that we're usually doing things in Spanish. We have podcasts on Monday, which I encourage every single one of y'all, if y'all haven't started watching it. We have a podcast, but it's in Spanish. If you're a Spanish speaker, I encourage you every Monday at 1 p.m. Today we have something special going on. We have two guests,
Yes, sir.
two beautiful guests that I have in front of me. Let yourself be known. Let yourself be known in the red.
Oh, in the red. My name is David. I'm here. It's a blessing from God to be here with y'all to share what God has put in me and to help give it to y'all.
And then on the Navy.
On the Navy with the little palm trees. My name's Alex. It's a pleasure being here. I'm usually always in the back, doing the lights and stuff.
Behind
But
the
it's
scenes.
different being up there.
Facts. And we each one of these guys, sometimes people see me preach, sometimes people see me talk, have the mic and everything, but they don't understand that there's a whole team behind everything that we do.
Yeah.
Whether it's the podcast, whether it's the youth services, whether it's going out other places, everywhere we go, there's a team that helps us get this word out to the people that need to hear this word. David, he works in many areas as a translator, as a singer, as a mentor, and Alex as well. He works as the youth producer, in many areas. We're all blessed to have the life of David and Alex, And this podcast, we made it. Yes, y'all are beautiful. Y'all are beautiful. Y'all are beautiful. Look how they look. Look how they smile. Today, we're gonna do something special. This podcast is made for you guys that are at that stage where y'all are getting to the adult stage, which every single one of us have gone through, where we're like, I don't want to be just any single guy. I don't just want to be a typical guy. I want to be some
becoming conscious.
Right, there you go. I like that. You start feeling the stuff that you need to change. And that's why we made this podcast, because I feel like there's a lot of kids that have the potential to be great men of God. They have the potential to be great people in this society, people of influence. And I feel like with the little knowledge that God has given us, we can make them, open their eyes.
And the problem, the problem nowadays is that there's not many good role models.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parents that aren't stepping up to the plate and wanting to be role models, especially for the young men that are growing up in this day. And so
you're right.
I know for a fact I'm not the most perfect role model, but there's things that I've learned in me that I've been able to correct, and God has directed me, that I know I can share to other people.
I think it's a good thing, like us right now being here. We here like in 3 different stages of life. One married and kid already, one married, no kid,
and one
that's
single.
Still,
Damn, bro, why you gotta do you like that?
No, it's facts.
No, it's a good thing, because we can learn a little bit of everything from everyone. Because I remember when I
we're all the same age.
Yeah, no, he's a bit older.
Like 2 years,
24, 25.
27.
No, we're all the same age. We all the same age.
No, but like I was saying, because I remember in high school, when I was graduating from high school, like I had a friend and we used to talk. I remember there was a time that I felt like I didn't have no guidance at all.
Right.
And I was like, I remember that day I talked to him outside the church that I used to go to, and we literally, both of us started crying.
Oh my God.
Because it's the thing is, there's a lot of kids that you're getting out of high school, or especially us, we go to church. It's a different thing from the kids that are out there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they can tell you, oh, it's gonna be parties or colleges now or whatever. But the thing is, for us, it's a different life.
It's a different ambience.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. And then I was like, I felt like I didn't have no guidance. Like even before coming to church, like that was one of the main reasons that I came to church, because I didn't feel like I was going to college and stuff like that, but I didn't really feel that I had a direction that I was going to. You get me?
I feel you.
That's man.
So I feel like it's something, getting examples or getting guidance from other people, like even if it's not the best, but I mean it's something, you know, it helps other kids.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And you know, if you're watching this video, if you're watching this podcast, and you're one of the type of guys that you're like, I know I'm meant for more than what I am right now, or where I'm at right now. Let me tell you that God has a purpose for you, and there's something great in you that God wants to awaken. You know, and so that's why today we're gonna talk about something special, man. Today we're gonna talk about
Guy stuff.
what'd you say?
Guy stuff.
Guy stuff. It's very simple. When you know, I believe every single one of us has experienced it, that when Jesus came into our life, you know, we were a mess. We were a mess. You know, doesn't matter how good we dressed, doesn't matter how good we talked, we were a mess. And when we accepted Jesus, you know, something started in our life. You know, changes started happening in our life that didn't let us be the way that we were back when we, you know, didn't have that commitment to God. You know, so that's what we're gonna talk about, and what we're gonna talk about today is what separates a Christian guy in society. You know, many people in the world, you know, see every single one of us, and yeah, we wear the same clothes. I wear Nike, mostly Nike, exclusively Nike, not sponsored. You know, it's you know, every single one of us dresses with a shirt, pants, maybe a snapback, you know, ripped jeans or anything, but there's something that separates us from whatever's going on in the world, you know. And I want to speak a little bit of what's going on in our life that separates us, you know. So as the number one, what separates us from the world, I put for this topic, our way of being. Our way of being.
All right.
You know, I feel like we're not doing anything forced. You know, we're not doing anything forced. Even
Water.
okay, David. Okay, David. You know, I've understood that we're not supposed to feel like Christianity is something that we gotta force. It should be something, like you said, David, that flows. You know,
something that you shouldn't hide.
Uh-huh.
Because the thing is, a lot of us growing up or when you're in school or stuff like that, they ask you, do you go to church?
True. Yeah.
And you feel ashamed.
Yes.
Yes. Why? It happened to every single one of us. Like if you ask, they used to ask me, "Are you a pastor's son?" You know, and I'll be like, "No," and I'll be so ashamed.
I never said no, but I never answered as well.
You never, you never corrected them. Yeah, it happened to everybody. But the question is why?
Ahorita, right now, I'm thinking it's because, you know, whenever you're passionate about something,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, you play sports? Yeah, man, I do this, I do that. Like, you know, you're passionate about it. But because you don't have a passion for Christ, you don't have a passion for God, and you feel like you should, but you don't. That's why you're like, I go to church.
I think it was the way that we were brought up too. Because, I mean, us, especially Hispanics, you know, when people tell you, oh, you go to this church or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I remember this one kid specifically, he was asking.
What's his name, bro? What's his name?
Actually, no. No, like, you know what the crazy thing is? He found God, he plays at churches, and he actually preaches and everything now.
Wow.
But I remember he asked me, do you go to church? And I said, yeah, I would do. He's like, do you go to one of those churches where they like, oh, hallelujah, and whatever, and nomás se tiran ahí,
making fun of it?
Yeah.
And
I was like, yeah, man. And he's like, why do they do that? I was like, I mean, back then, I really didn't. I just stayed quiet. But then it's crazy now because I still have it on Facebook. And it's crazy now because he preaches and he plays and everything. I'm pretty sure he's inside our circle.
Yeah.
So it's a guy out there.
That's what's up. Okay. Yeah, because I mean, it happened to every single one of us.
Yeah.
I was in high school, and I've said it to many preachers that this girl came up to me, and I ain't gonna lie, you know, I was trying to impress her, you know, like every single one of us guys in high school trying to impress everybody.
Yeah.
But I remember that she once told me, "Hey, I saw you on TV playing guitar. Is that your dad preaching? Are you pastor's son?"
How old are you? How old are you?
I was like 15.
Damn, be on TV at 15, man.
Yeah, man, it's tough. But
Celebrity like.
man, bro, let me tell you, man, the line, man, my hand hurts from signing autographs. I'm joking, man, but nah, man, that girl was she was in another world. But I remember that she told me, you know, your dad's Pastor Jesus Lemus. And I remember that I was like, I didn't say no. I was in shock because I was like, oh my God. I felt like they had found like something that I was trying to hide, you know, like a secret.
You know, it's the Christian right now. He commented. He's like, "Será que there's not a lot of us?" The thing is, there's a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
We're hidden, you know. It's like
yeah.
when people watch.
We're the unicorns.
It's like when people watch, let's say, anime or other stuff. You know, you like it, but you don't want the world to know. So you're in your little own world right there, but you're hidden. You know.
I remember because I grew up watching it whenever I was young.
Yeah.
Whenever it was first airing, man, I was in the 2nd grade. I'm gonna be straight up with you. I was watching Adult Swim. I was watching like all these like late night shows.
I didn't have cable.
I was fortunate enough to have it.
I was at 11. I was watching Mr. Bean.
I was with Yesenia. I remember we would stay up and we would watch it. Entonces, those are shows that like not many kids would watch. So whenever I was in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th grade and I was still watching it, I didn't have nobody to relate to. And then like whenever it finally started getting voice, people would be like, "Man, you watched that?" I'll be like, "Yeah, watch it."
Yeah, why?
And then he said, "It's like, is it because there's not a lot of us?" The thing is, there is a lot of us. We're just like hidden out there in the crowd.
It's a lot of.
And it should be the other way, you know.
Well,
Instead of us being hidden there, we should be the ones shining.
I feel like the reason why not many people can stand out as a Christian is because they're ashamed of what they believe in, you know. And I feel like every single young person that has lived in this world, gone to school, has had to deal with that.
Yeah.
You know, the shame, or because you gotta understand that Christianity isn't something that everybody likes. Christianity isn't something that everybody agrees with, and you're at the stage, you're at the moment where you want everybody to agree with you. You want everybody to like you, and Christianity goes against that.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's why not many people want to say yes, I'm Christian. But I feel like it's time for us to, you know, stop letting that feeling take over our lives, because you know. In this world, nobody's ashamed of anything anymore. Nobody's ashamed of being you know, homosexuals. Nobody's ashamed of being different, of being transsexual. Nobody's ashamed of whatever. They just want to live happy, you know. But how is it that the Christians still feel ashamed? You know, and it breaks my heart, because when I hear the words that God said, you know, He said, if y'all are ashamed of me in the world, I will be ashamed of you in front of my Father. Yeah. You know, and that's something that keeps resonating in my mind, because I'm like, yo, man, am I gonna lose my salvation? Am I gonna lose my credibility with God just because I'm ashamed or I'm embarrassed of what people think of me? First of all, who's more important, the people that are criticizing me or God who created me? You know, and I feel like it's at that point where you just forget and don't care no more about what people say of you.
It's because I think nowadays we care more about being accepted by the society outside than being accepted by God itself.
True.
You know?
Yes, you're right. You're correct.
We're always trying to, I guess, please people.
Yeah.
You know, this is the new trend or whatever, and we get in it.
Yeah.
And
influencers.
Yeah, we're always being influenced by the world, but the thing is, instead of that, we should be being influenced, or we should be the influencers.
It's because it's easy it's easy to be influenced because when we are influenced, the person influencing is doing all the work.
Yeah.
So we're just receiving the hard work that guy did or that girl did. So when we're influenced by somebody, we're not doing anything. We're just copying.
Yeah.
You know, it took probably a style. You know, styles come and go.
Yeah.
You know, but we're copying a style that they invented. You know, how long do you think it took them to invent that style? How long do you think it took them to create it? I don't know. That's on them. But we just copy it. You know, and I feel like every single one of us in this world, you know, suffer from laziness. We all suffer from laziness. You know, and the fact that we let ourselves be beat by laziness is something that we should just wake up. You know, because we're not called to be influenced. We're called to be the influence. But how are we gonna be the influence if we're always just sitting there passively, just letting everything happen at our surroundings? You know, we're called to be just like Jesus, the ambient changer. You know, that wherever you put your foot, wherever you step, you know, you could see the change, you could see the difference, you could see the light of Jesus. You know, and that's what we need to be. That's what the world needs to see. You know, our way of being.
Yeah, we're supposed to be the leaders. We're not supposed to be the followers.
Right, right. And I feel like that leadership comes with the name Christianity. With the name Christian. I'm Christian, therefore I am a leader by nature.
I mean, even in the name Christianity, it says Christ. So that means that whenever you're a Christian, you need to be Christ-like. You need to if you want to imitate anybody, imitate Christ.
Ooh.
If you want to be like anybody, be like Christ. You know, so many people, they want to be different, but they're different in their own way. But we need to be different like him in our way of speaking, in our way of being, in our way of expressing ourselves.
That's beautiful, bro.
I think the thing is now that we're a new generation.
Yeah.
You know, our parents, they're a whole new other generation.
Right.
I don't think they were influenced as much as us right now by society itself, by all the social
technology,
media, social media and stuff like that. And instead of letting that overtake us, we should take it as an advantage. We should use it as a platform to spread the word, to spread our influence out there, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's just, that's the thing. Like, kids nowadays, instead of us being influenced or being influencers, we're the ones being influenced.
Don't you remember when you were 11 or 12? You know, do you remember the mindset that you had? Like, do you remember the 2 weeks prior to going to school, all you were worried about is,
man, I'm trying to look fresh.
I'm trying to look fresh. Yeah. Mom, let's go shopping, you know? Did you get your paycheck yet? Yeah. You know, the mindset of a kid is different from the mindset that we have now. You know, our minds have opened up, but these kids are still living, you know, the lifestyle or the mindset of a child. You know, sometimes we forget about this. Sometimes we think that, you know, or we feel like, man, my mind has not changed. you know, but a lot has changed, and so these kids, you know, they're living in their ambient, you know, with their surroundings. You know, whatever their friends like, they want to like. Yeah. Whatever their friends do, they want to do. Wherever their friends are, they want to be. Yeah. But I feel like us as maybe adults, us as grown people, or whoever you are that are watching us right now at the age where you at, you can influence the people that are around you. Doesn't matter if they are in your age group or not.
Yeah. You could always influence somebody.
Yeah.
I thought that we were talking about like older people. I remember one time in my job, there came an old lady, and he said that sometimes like people that grew up without technology, sometimes whenever it's introduced to them, they take it as fact or truth. They think everything that they say.
I feel like that's every old person.
Entonces, whenever I was there, this old lady, she was talking to me about politics and stuff. I'm like, lady, I'm 24, man. I don't care about politics. I didn't tell her that, but in my mind. And she was just telling me all this and that was going on in the world. And I told her, ma'am, I don't even watch TV. Like, I don't
yeah,
nothing.
We don't watch TV like that.
And it's funny because she's like, you're okay living like that? Like, was so funny whenever she hit me with that, because I'm like, yes, ma'am, I'm okay living like that. But it gets to a point where, you know, like we were saying, there's people that want to influence other people.
Yeah.
And so whenever you want to influence and have other people like you, you care what those people say.
Yeah.
In this case, I don't care what those people say. I don't care what the news have to say. Well, actually, there's certain things that you have to care about.
You have to.
But a lot of the times, like, there's just trends that are going around and this and that. And honestly, I don't care. It's only because my eyes aren't set on what the people are saying, but what God is saying.
And that's one of the things that makes us who we are, our way of being. Because if you notice, till this day, there's people that are our age. I'm 25. I just turned 25. Yeah. You say you're 27 and you're 24.
I just turned 24.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. You know, but there's people that are still our age that are still trying to follow the movement. You know, there's still people that are trying to be hip. You know,
they're still stuck in a high school mindset. Honestly.
Yes. Yeah. You know, and it's just like, you know, I want to still be known as the popular kid. You know, I still want to be like.
It all goes back to your mentality, though.
Yeah.
How disciplined you are.
Yeah.
How, I mean, your dad preaches about it all the time. Like,
Facts.
You know, we shouldn't let the news or anything that comes around TV influence us. The thing is, a lot of us are influenced by it. I mean, they say something about COVID, by a virus or whatever, we get scared by it. You know, it all at the end, it all is how disciplined your mentality is.
Yeah, man. The reason we are how we are is because of
Christian right here. He was saying that it all goes back to the household.
Yes,
and it's true.
There's a point. No, go ahead.
No. Yeah.
Okay, how do you say principios in Spanish?
Principles.
In English.
I don't know, man.
Principles.
Fundamentals.
It's fundamentals. There's fundamentals. So, as you grow up, those fundamentals are what have guided you to a certain point. And, you know, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I don't need my fundamentals no more. But I mean, that's your foundation. How are you gonna live a life without a foundation?
Yeah.
And so as a Christian man, those foundations are what have guided me to this day.
Wow.
And
Say that again, bro. Say that again.
The foundations that I've learned since I was a kid by my parents and the Christian foundations that I've had since I started going to church, those are what have guided me to this day.
You know, then brings them back to
Tell me.
because high school, freshman year, it was my worst year. You know, I always tell myself if I would have died that year, I wouldn't have gone to heaven. You know, because I mean, we were all looking for a God.
You know what, bro? Me too.
During our high school days, right? But thing is, I was in this social that I was being influenced by a lot of things.
Yeah.
Drugs, alcohol, and all of that. You know. And I'm being honest, I tried a little bit of it, but I never went overboard. You know why? Because in my back, behind my back, it was always my mom there. It was always her.
God bless your mom, man.
It all goes back to the way that you're raised. The fundamentals.
Yeah.
You know? In my head, I was like, if I do this, my mom's going to kill me. If I do this, she's going to find out somehow or another way. That's always the thing.
So true. I've spoke about this so many times. The image that the parents have in the house is so important. The role that they have in the house is so important because, you know, the parents either guide you to a blessed life or to a life that's ruined, you know, by the decisions that they take as parents. You know, I take that there's 3 stages and as a parent, as a kid looking at a parent, there's 3 stages of how you see them. You know, when you're growing up, you know, you're scared of them because they're like, oh man, they're gonna whoop me. You know,
they're gonna whoop me.
Yeah, I'll do this, man. They're gonna hit me, man, and you're scared. You know, but once you get older and everything, like in your teens, they're your like rivalry, your competition, like your worst enemy because you know they're always on your back. They're always, you know, not letting you do what you want and stuff like that. You know, but you keep growing, and it comes to a point where you know they're not your worst enemy anymore, but they become your friend. They become the best person, the first person you run to. You know, when you're in a situation, and you know that's something that I felt and something that I've understood in my personal life. Because yes, you know, even though my dad's a pastor, I did kind of grind his gears and everything because I mean I was still a child too. But every time I would try to, try to, how's it, revelarme,
To rebel.
to rebel against him, he would always show a character, a form of being that wasn't anger. Maybe he was mad, but he never let his anger out.
Yeah.
You know.
He was never overcome. By that
Yeah,
anger.
he was never. He learned. What's the word? A lot of self-control. Composure. Yes. You know. Character, and it's stuff that till this day it moves me, and now it's something that I want to be like, hey man, I want to do that with my kids.
So what happens? You know, monkey see, monkey do. You know, anything that you do.
Call me a monkey dog.
Anything, anything that a kid sees, that's what they imitate. Like your son EJ, anything that he sees from us, he imitates it, and he wants to be like us. So, in this case, you know, you pushed your dad's buttons, and you pushed them as hard as you could, and you try to find extra buttons, but you saw his way of acting.
Yeah.
So now, whenever you were outside of in the world, or just in a different environment, and somebody was pushing your buttons, you had. You knew how to react.
Yes.
Because you saw it from your dad. You saw it from your father.
Yes.
You saw it from your parents. So I think that's what these kids need nowadays. They need something to back them up.
Bro.
Like what do I do in this situation?
Yeah. Have you seen road rage? Have you seen the videos of road rage?
Bro.
Have you seen how crazy people look?
Some people get crazy.
Some people.
To the point where, like, gunpoint.
Yes.
It's out there, it's a crazy world.
And for people, it's normal.
That's not normal.
Hey man, I understand, man, cause when it's traffic, man, it's just like if I'm a Christian, that cannot be something that I would do. You know, it cannot. I could not.
We gotta be the example.
Right. Yeah, the example, bro.
You know, nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody
say that loud, bro.
Nope. Nobody likes to be wrong. Nobody likes to admit their own faults. And it's crazy because right now it comes to mind. I saw a video of a dude. He was in traffic, right? And he was going to the left. But it was a dude in a bike. They always got the little GoPro in there.
Yeah.
And so the car was about to hit him. He's like, "Hey, watch where you're going." But the dude that was in the car, he didn't go back at him like, "Hey man, you watch where you going." Like, no, he's just like, I'm sorry. It wasn't my, like, he was sincere. He's like, it wasn't my
intention.
My intention. Yeah, there you go. It wasn't my intention to try to cut you off, and this is that. I apologize. And he even like grabbed his hand, like he reached out his hand, like, yeah. I apologize. I think you seen it? And then the dude, instead of, it's because fire with fire makes it fire. You can't fight fire with fire.
Definitely.
But this dude, he was passive because the dude on the bike, he was mad. Like super mad because he was about to cut him off and hit him, but the other dude's like, I apologize, it was my fault, I apologize. So he cut that off real quick. But people like to fight. That's the thing. People like to fight.
Well,
it's our pride.
It's there you go. It's not much that they like to fight, but they can't control themselves. And because they don't want to show that it's a weakness, they have pride, and they say, yeah, there you go.
The thing is, it all goes back to Christianity.
Yeah.
To Christ,
to God.
like.
Yeah.
He was humble, but at the same time, he had that. When it was time, tenía esa autoridad.
That authority,
yeah. And that's how it should be with us.
Yeah.
We should be humble when it's time to be humble. But at the same time, if we don't see that something's right, then our character has to come out right there.
Don't take kindness as weakness.
Yeah.
You know what separates us from the world, and it's something that King Solomon said. Yeah. Even how you say necio? Even a dumb person. I don't know. Even a dumb person, if he would stay quiet, he will be considered, or he will be seen. Yeah, a foolish person. Yeah. How does it go?
It's like even if a foolish person stays quiet, they are viewed as wise.
Yeah.
Because they're not saying nothing, because nothing's coming out of their mouth.
So that's something that every Christian should follow. Yeah. If you're young, listen to me right now. If you're young and you're at that stage where you're getting that man, character in you. You're saying you're growing a little bit of hair, you're
Got your little.
Yeah. Whenever you're
hair.
talking, you kind of go like
yeah.
that.
You're starting to get your job, make your own money and stuff like that, and you feel like a man. Let me tell you, sometimes people take us as immature by the things that we say.
Yeah.
A Christian is known by his way of controlling the things that he says and does.
Yeah.
Isn't actions speak more than words?
Yeah, definitely. And it's just like, there's times where I want to say stuff, but I hold back because I'm like, okay, first of all, I'm supposed to be imitating Christ.
Yeah.
And by me saying this stuff, what I'm going to do is
make people mad. Go against you.
or put the name of Christ in embarrassment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we all have the same mindset. We all have a mind, we all have a brain, we all have a heart.
Yeah.
We all deal with like mentalities that are just like they just pop out of nowhere. And you're just like, what in the world, But our job is to be able to analyze everything that's in our mind, analyze all the words that are coming out of my mouth, and make sure they're the appropriate ones.
Yeah.
The less we speak, the more weight those words have.
I mean, we have 2 ears and one mouth for a reason. We have 2 ears so that we listen more.
I like that.
Process it before we actually speak.
I like that.
But some people only got 1 ear and they got 2 mouths. So.
Oh my God, David.
Because I think that's what we gotta teach the kids nowadays.
Patience.
Patience is one of the things, and even discipline, or I don't know how to say it. Like, you gotta know.
Exactly.
Because like I even tell my brother, all the time, like, if mom is telling, because my brother, he's going through that stage.
Yeah.
He's at that stage right now.
Lord bless Johnny.
He's at that stage right now where you feel like you're going from a kid to a teenager.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him, like, whatever mom tells you, just listen.
Yeah.
Like, don't argue back. Just listen. And especially because my mom, she has that character that, she raised me by herself.
Your mom is a great woman of God, bro.
She was a mom and a dad to me. And so she can be a little bit, I guess, a hard character. Aggressive.
No, she hardcore, but for a good reason.
But like, I tell my brother, I'm like, if mom tells you to do something, it's because for your own good. You don't know it right now, but later on you're gonna be grateful.
Yes.
And that's what we should teach these kids nowadays. That because there's a lot of these kids, they're I don't know if parents have gone soft on them.
I asked myself the exact same question, man.
I think it's because now that everything's out in the open, like literally everything is out in the open. Things that you do in the house, some way, somehow get out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you end up beating your child, and it should be for a good reason. And they're like, why'd you beat your kid? You shouldn't do that.
Oh my God, I'm gonna call the police.
Not beat them up, discipline them.
Okay.
Yeah, not beat them up.
Okay.
It's one.
Yeah. Let me rephrase myself. Discipline.
Okay, if you beat your kid up, man, I'll call the cops, man.
Discipline. No, because I've seen videos of like people getting attacked by animals, right? Like, it's self-defense. You got to defend yourself against an animal. And then you see in the comment sections, oh my gosh, why'd you hit that dog like that? Why do you think that animal deserved that hit that you
That
hit?
animal doesn't know.
Yeah, the animal doesn't know. He's trying to kill you.
Yeah, I know.
And for you to try to defend yourself, people criticize you for that. Like, I don't think that's right.
I feel like everybody's always trying to put their picture into something.
Trying to put their opinion.
Or make their own story about a situation. Have you seen those pictures that they create how the news is fake and stuff like that?
Yeah.
They just only broadcast a certain out of the whole picture.
Like
I feel like everybody.
It all goes back to being influenced by it.
Yeah,
because
there you go.
News is they're influencing people.
Yeah.
What's a thing and stuff like that.
So the way you raise your kids or the way that you are, maybe some people are gonna be like, that's wrong. Maybe because you're Christian, people are gonna look at the whatever they want to see and be like, oh, that's wrong. I don't like you and stuff like that. And because of that, many people do not wanna say that they are Christians.
Oh my God. Christian said, "I've been WWEing my kid."
I ain't gonna lie, me too, bro.
Yeah, you gotta train them young, man.
Yeah, EJ knows when he hears watch out, watch out, watch out to duck.
And then he goes.
So it's something that you know, everybody's gonna have their opinion and have their like in their mind a picture of what's going on. As a Christian, we gotta understand that we're not made to worry about what people say of us, and that's why we have our walk, our flow. Like I said, we walk the way we walk, you know, not caring what people say of us. You know, we walk confident wherever we go. You know, I walk at the mall, I walk confident as a Christian. I go to my friend's house. I go to anybody's house, whether it's family or not, whether they're Christian or not. I be walking my Christian walk, you know, because it's something that people need to see. How is somebody gonna come to the feet of Jesus if there are so many Christians that are not what's the word?
Frail. They're frail.
They're frail. Yes, they're not confident in what they believe in. They're not confident in the clothes that they wear.
Have conviction in what they speak and what they say.
Because the thing is, we gotta stand out. Because even with, I've heard stories from my dad in construction. You see all these people, man. You see every kind of people out there.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, you see who the Christians are too, or who the church people are too. And that's the way we should be with us everywhere. We gotta be able to stand out.
Should be distinguished.
Yes, that's how it should be. We should be able to distinguish. When you see that guy, is like, oh yeah, that guy goes to church. When you see that guy, oh no, he's from the hood or something.
Yeah, or he bad, bro.
Yeah.
That guy's a hood Christian.
So yeah, so the way that we are, you know, separates us from the world because it's not something imitated. It's not something forced. You know, it's not something that's fake. You know, it's something unique. You know, something unique that's God given. You know, how can I because it's this. How can I resist? How can I resist falling into the norms of this society if I do not have Jesus? You know, and this is where many Christians fail. How do you avoid falling into the norms, the movements, the practices of this society, of this world, if you are not close to Jesus?
I think that is the greatest struggle that this generation has now. You know, because everything now is the norm for every other people.
Yes.
Though everything happening around the world, they're all trying to be influenced. You know, I think that's our thing then.
EJ, man. EJ want to be part of the GuyTalk.
Nah, you better go back to your mama.
Oh man, man, they don't let us talk. They don't let us have this conversation, man. I told my lady, give me 1 hour. Yeah. Give me 1 hour. But look, the hardest thing for a guy is to be able to be a leader in a society that pushes them to follow everything, to follow the mainstream. You know, and that's where many people fall short, because it's easy to be a man, it's easy to be a father, it's easy to be a husband if you follow everything that everybody around you is doing. Everything
you do in your teenage years influences how you're gonna be in.
Of course, yeah,
whatever, you know.
Yeah.
Because my mentality of always, when I was in the 15s or whatever, you know, I had my life planned out in my head. You know, I was going to get married at 24, 23. I was going to have kids 28, 29, whatever. And by the grace of God, that's been how it is.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the things but the thing is, a lot of these kids, when they're 16, 17, they don't have that mentality. They're thinking about, oh, you know, I'm going to play Fortnite or whatever, you know. That's their thought. That's their thinking. That's their mentality now.
Yeah.
And so it all goes back to when you're in your teenage years, you got to start being able to think ahead of yourself.
Have an open mind. Yes. Have an open mind. I remember when.
That's what I want to say. But say what you're.
I remember when I was 16. I always say this in my preachers. I don't know if I was like a normal kid. I don't know if I.
You weren't normal.
I wasn't normal, man. I'm sorry, man. I apologize to everybody here. You know, maybe I wasn't like everybody else. Yeah. You know, everybody else was worried about like, oh, you know, who's gonna be my girlfriend next week? You know, that's what their mentality was.
Yes.
You know, I was worried about my life as a
image.
of my future. There we go.
Okay.
Because I was 16, I was 15, and I was like, I want to have beautiful children.
Yeah.
You know, I was already imaging. I was like, man, you know what? My dad is 5'2".
Imagining.
I'm 5'9". You know, so that means that I cannot marry just just anybody.
Yeah.
I need to marry somebody that's tall so that I can have tall kids. You know, because it'd be sad that I'm taller than my kids. You know, so that's my mentality, and I was like, I want beautiful kids. You know, I don't have dimples. That's how I was thinking. I don't have dimples,
But you want your kid.
but I want my kid to have dimples.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, you know, at the time I was not fat. You know, I was not. Now
as heavy.
Okay.
You're not fat. You're just
We
husky.
were all skinny back then.
We were all skinny, man. I found a picture of
still
you,
skinny.
man. I found a picture of you, bro. I'm about to show you, man.
Let me show you right now. I got it on my
I don't think David could get any more skinny.
And I'm gaining weight. Thank the Lord.
but at 16, that's how I was thinking, man.
2017.
At 16, that's how I was thinking, you know?
I'm gaining weight there too.
You're getting weak.
No, gaining weight.
Oh,
there,
gaining
yeah.
weight.
Show the
Who's
camera.
that?
Show the camera.
Oh.
Oh, Alex.
Show the camera, Alex.
No.
Oh, man.
Can you see it?
No.
Can
There's
you
a better
see it?
picture of me out there.
Can you see it?
but like at the age of 16, I was still a kid, but my mind wasn't where everybody else's was. You know, I was thinking about who am I gonna marry, you know, and as a Christian, I was like, I'm Christian. At this moment, at 16, I was only playing the guitar. I wasn't preaching, I wasn't singing, I wasn't doing nothing. But I knew, just like every Christian should know, that everything isn't permanent. We always have to grow. We always have to keep going. Maybe you're sitting down in a chair at church right now, but you never know. God may call you to serve in some area. You just gotta be ready and willing to work. You know, I was playing guitar, but I was like, okay, I'm a pastor's son. You know. And I know I have a calling other than playing guitar, you know? So I was like, I need to find myself a woman that is gonna not be trouble for me, but to help me and push me and wherever I am. And that's how we are known, because our way of being guides us, a way of thinking guides us to be different. You know, easily I could have been like, hey, let me find a cute girl in my school so that I can just, you know, spend this time. You know, like everybody else.
Pass time.
Yeah, just pass time like everybody else did. You know, let me just pass time till I have to graduate and go maybe out of state or go to a college, and she goes to another one. You know, like everybody else thinks of. But I was like, no, I want something that's stable and that is real. I don't want to wait till I'm 18 to have something real. I want something that you know, so I won't be over here confused like many people. You know,
and something I heard the other day is that depression is whenever you're stuck in the past. Anxiety is whenever you're stuck in the future.
Worried about the future.
Yeah, too worried about the future,
Yeah.
So, as a Christian, I feel like we need to live in the moment sometimes.
Yeah.
Because God is here with us now.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about what God's going to do with us tomorrow or what he did with us yesterday.
The word says it.
Yeah.
It says it. You know, not to be worried about what's going to come tomorrow.
In Spanish, no te preocupes el día de mañana porque cada día tiene su propia afán.
Don't worry about the day of tomorrow, because every day has its own struggle. Its own worry.
Every day has its own worry, has its own struggle. So worry about today, but there's nothing wrong with worrying about your future and wanting to have a good future.
Yeah.
But and this is an advice, a tip that I gave one of my kids the other day, the ones that I'm mentoring. I was telling him, you know, you're at that age where you're not fully a man. Like, you can't call yourself a man yet, because you're in between that a teen and adult stage, that awkward stage.
Oh man.
And so I told him, you know, prepare yourself so that the day of el día de mañana, you know, whenever the day comes, you can say, you know, I'm prepared.
Yeah.
I have finances to back me up. You know, don't worry about the number that you have now, but prepare yourself mentally, spiritually, physically. You know,
Yeah.
You know, you want to take care of your body. So I was like, you know, prepare yourself now, because nowadays, man, something I wanted to say earlier was that a lot of people have a straw mindset, where they see life through just a little straw, like a little hole. But as a Christian, whenever the more we look God, the more we seek God and look for Him, He opens up our mind so that we don't just see the picture through a straw, but we see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So that's our struggle nowadays, that people, they all they see is the little hole. But we need to, you know, take a step back and see the bigger picture.
I like that, bro.
As a guy, we have our responsibilities too.
A big responsibility.
That's something that was always behind in my head when I was still in college and stuff. You know, we're supposed to be the head of the household. We're supposed to be the ones that bring the bread. You know, all of that has to be in, like you were saying. You know, we gotta think about our future, but at the same time, we gotta think about the day that we're living in.
Yeah, we
gotta worry about that day and still worry about the future, but focus more on how we can make it better.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. That's the whole reason we're doing Guy Talk, right?
Yeah.
Because we're not the same as girls. You know, they have their own.
No, we're not the same as girls.
They have their things they gotta worry about, and then we have our things that we gotta worry about. But the thing is, I feel like it's a bigger responsibility.
As a guy and as a woman, we're wired differently. It's not throwing shade or anything. It's facts. You know, we're just wired differently.
We're a Lambo, they're a Toyota.
We're wired differently. We're creative.
We're wired differently, man.
Process things differently.
No, just joking. We love y'all, girls.
we process things differently, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
Man, we about to get some heat because of that. It's our first program, man.
Some people left already.
I think the girls left the house.
No, but what Alex was saying is so true. Yeah. There's responsibilities as a man, you know. As a Christian, you gotta understand that your responsibility, there's some things that are gonna be the same as people in this world, like providing for your family, you know, being a good dad, being a good father, being there when you're needed, you know. But other than that, there's more responsibilities as a Christian, because a secular person that's not Christian, all he gotta do is be a good dad, and whatever his son does after 18, that's his problem, you know, because I raised him right.
What a lot of people say.
You know, I raised him right. You know, I told him right from wrong. If he wants to be doing dumb stuff, that's on him. But as a Christian, you gotta understand that you gotta be a good father, a good provider, as the Bible says. It structures us as that, but also it tells us that we have to teach these kids and bring them to the feet of Christ. Teach them the word of God so that when they're older, they will not leave from it. So there's more responsibilities as a Christian person. But this is why we are the way we are, because we know that this responsibility doesn't start when your kids are already 5, 10, 15. This starts before you even get married. Because how are you going to be teaching your kids how to be in God's ways when you have a person next to you, a wife that is not God-fearing, when she's not a good example at home, when she just gives you nothing but problems? This is why a young person that is not married, you dude that you're watching me, guy that you're watching me, you gotta understand that everything starts now. You know, the reason why we talk the way that we talk is because you cannot wait till you're older to be like, okay, now I have to do things right. You gotta start now, because habits are hard to take away. Habits are so hard, if not impossible, to take away. You know, that's why an alcoholic struggles with alcohol till the day that he dies. Why? Because it's that habit that he started. You know, that man that watches pornography, it's a habit that and it's hard, but that's a habit that he has to take away. Why? Because if not, it'll eat him from the inside out. Each person, each guy that are watching me, there is a bright future ahead of us, but we have to make the decision now. We have to take the decision now, because if not, our future is...
And you know, you're going to say something?
No, go ahead.
You know, we think that it's our own mind and we control our body. But honestly, sometimes I feel like our body has a mind of its own.
Yeah.
Because, and let me elaborate a little more on that. You know, there's things called addictions.
Yeah.
And I won't say that I've ever been like fully addicted to anything, but if there's one thing that I have been addicted to, it's coffee. And at times I'm like, man, I can stop drinking when I want to, but it got to a point where, like, I think for like 2-3 days, and I told you, I wasn't drinking coffee, you know, because I just didn't. Stuff happened, and I just couldn't drink nothing. But my body started craving it, and I never get headaches, but I started getting a headache. I'm like, man, why does my head hurt? And then I started craving coffee again. I'm like, oh, my body is asking for this. So there was a point that you said that I wanted to get to, but I forgot.
Giselle was passing by and saw you were live, but it's only for guys. Sadness.
I mean, girls can say too.
Y'all can stay and listen. It's very important for y'all.
Anybody can learn from me.
The thing is, this is what you should be looking for a guy though.
Yeah. Facts,
So
facts.
it's guy talk, but at the same time it's for anyone.
Girls, y'all think that just because it's guy talk, it means that y'all can't watch. Man, we're gonna give y'all secrets to find yourself a good man. If your man is so worried about what the world thinks of him, run.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
Because that man lacks identity.
Yeah.
Man, I tell everyone.
Identity.
I tell everyone,
Identity.
like, whenever they're asking me for advice, like, oh, you know, how should I find a girlfriend or whatever, I tell them, like you were saying earlier, first look at how they are, how they portray themselves. You know, if they're willing to go to church, if they're doing all these other things, you know, then go ahead for it. But if they're, like, it's hard for them, they're being forced to go, then it just shows how they are outside too, you know. But then something I was trying to go to earlier is that I try to give, like, I have a guy, I'm not saying names, that I'm mentoring.
Yeah.
And he was asking me, so like, how did you start with, you know, with your wife and whatever? And I was like,
You met me first.
oh yeah, but doesn't
You
matter.
met me first.
No, but I'm
He's
like,
married to my sister.
you gotta have that mentality that you gotta start preparing right now. You know, you gotta start preparing
David, you're dumb.
financially and mentally.
Yeah.
You know, I think financially it's one of the main things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
One of the main things for guys.
Yeah.
Because when you're married already, you're supposed to be the one that, and, you know, moms can just, like your wife, you know, she can be a mom, you know. But thing is, for guys, we're supposed to be the one that brings the money, the bread.
Yeah.
And
I feel like it's something that gives us pride as men.
And I always tell them, start now.
Yeah.
Start
Literally
now.
what I was saying earlier. Start now.
You always gotta start now, because the thing is, you gotta start preparing yourself to have that habit. You know, my mom always taught me, because this is what my dad used to do. My dad now, he's like, he brings some money and gives it to my mom, and then my mom just pays bills or whatever, and that's stuck in my head. Because now, your dad, when we got married, your dad said that your money is not your money anymore. You know,
It's her money. It's my money, not
and the thing is, and I wasn't mad or anything, because it was already set in my mind.
Yeah.
So now, whatever I get, you know, it all goes to bills or whatever. But Yesenia's the one that handles all of that.
I mean, but that's biblical, because I mean, whenever you get married, you know, even though it hurts, they give you the little coins.
Yeah.
You know, they live in the.
As a symbolic sign.
It's a symbolic sign, and you gotta give those 10 cents, whatever they are, to you to your wife's hand. You know, and even though it hurts, you know, because you're just like, you know, why I gotta give her my paycheck? You know, who is she to take my money? You know, but it's biblical, something that we should do, and I feel like as a man, it gives us pride to be the providers. It gives us pride, you know, to be like, you know, everything that's in the table, everything that's in the house, everything that you see in front of you is something that I worked hard for, you know, and that's something that we as a society need to accept and adopt, you know. Pero going back to what we were talking about, you said a word that's very important: identity.
I got another word I want to say too.
Oh my God.
Hey man, this is a good topic. How long have we been going?
She said,
An hour.
Giselle said that she's going to Chicago, so safe travels.
All right, so we'll be live till you hit your destination.
Just let us know.
She's like, I got 5 hours. So, you know, the guy is, you know, she's Giselle's asking like, y'all have food, but as a guy, you need to be able not just to get bread, but to make bread. Symbolically speaking, you need to know the recipe to make the bread, to make the money, so you can be the head of the household.
What type of bread?
And so, you know, whatever bread you want, man. You know,
Wheat bread.
You make your wife's favorite bread. You make your wife's favorite bread. I'm gonna be.
Michelle likes cornbread.
So, And this is going back to us being wired differently. We think differently. I feel like a woman has always been better administrating money than as a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Not always,
Not everyone, not all of them, but most of them.
But for the most part, I feel like the guy brings the bread, and the woman's the one that's supposed to be able to break and make it last if need be.
Well, this is something that I heard a preacher say once. It was like, a woman was created to multiply. Everything that we give a woman, it multiplies. It's like saying you give her a house, she makes it a home.
Yeah. I like that.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
You give her what's it called, groceries, she makes food, and feeds you and stuff like that, and it's stuff that you give her love, and she gives you a generation, stuff like that. A woman multiplies, so when you give her everything, and that's including money and everything, she will multiply it to a point where you're like, where is this coming from?
There's a proverb that says that a good woman is like a crown on a man's head.
Yes, I've taken that by heart, man. Yeah. I've taken it by heart because I ain't gonna lie, y'all saw my Instagram a few days ago where Maricela went to 2 stores, man, and I had like a mini tantrum. Yeah. Because she bought 3 things and the receipt was a 3-digit number, man. Yeah. And I think the same thing happened to you. Show Alex's face. Yeah. But it's just like you see all this stuff and you're just like, what in the world? But you gotta think about it. Whenever you have a beautiful woman that's next to you, that's well taken care of, that's well loved, like she's not suffering like from depression because you treat her on something, but when she's treated right, she glows. She glows, and that's what the proverb says, that it's like a crown on your face, on your head, not on your face. But
what kind of crown you got, man?
Hey, man, but like I'm telling you, it's so true because how many people just take their wife for granted?
Yeah.
How many young guys are over here just saying, I just need a girl to marry, but they're not worried about the most important thing, that she's gonna be the crown on your head, and you're just worried about pleasing your physical needs. But what about providing and making a beautiful home? Because the woman multiplies, right? The woman makes a home, a house feel like a home. Wherever you walk in, it's welcoming. Whenever you walk in, she's the one that has designed it. She's the one that has fixed it up. She's the one that when you wake up, you smell the food. And it's something like that every young person needs to understand, because there's so many people, and I'm gonna get to this point.
Yeah, get to it. Come on.
The reason why the society in this generation is the way it is because the men of past generations did not think about creating a home from a house. They did not care about wearing a crown or just wearing nothing.
Yeah.
They were just worried about pleasing their physical needs.
Yeah.
And then they created a child in a house, not a home. Where they didn't teach him values or morals, they just taught him to breathe and eat.
That kept them passing to the next generation.
And then it keeps getting worse and worse.
They never learned how to. We live in a society where there's no homes.
There's no homes. And what happens then? Yeah. If there is no home, then a father doesn't feel obligated to provide. So that's why we see families that are separated. Yeah. So many kids that parents that are divorced.
Divorce is just normal.
Or divorce is just no. It's gotten to the point where
get married 1 week, get divorced the next week.
It's not even about divorce. It's just you have kids here and there with no obligation.
Yeah.
With no responsibility. Oh, that's my dad, but he's not with my mom. Yeah. My mom's a single mom and everything. My dad's just doing his thing.
We can joke about it all the time, like. you tell you like, oh, where's your dad? Oh, he went for milk. Never came back. You know, it's that phrase right there. It's a joke, but at the same time, it's the normal
facts,
now.
yeah.
But yeah, people have taken it as a joke, but because it's so normal, it's so regular, it happens all the time. But like I'm telling you, everybody is worried about just pleasing their physical needs and not trying to create a home in a house.
Like I saw Kevin Hart. He was talking to his trainer, and his trainer was like bragging, "Hey man, I got money, I got this, I got this." He's like, "Before you were famous, I was already making money, and this and that." And Kevin was just like, "But do you have a home?" Like he was asking him, "Do you have literally exactly what we're talking?" He's like, "Do you have a home?" And that made him so mad that he just kept on bragging more in this. That it got to a point where they started fist fighting. But you know, the simple question: do you have a home? Do you have a place where, like, if you lose everything, do you have a place where you can go and rest your head? Do you have a place where you can go and rest and just, you know, be you? But he couldn't even answer that question. You know, millionaires, people that have money, they don't have a place that they can call home.
I'm telling you, man, it's not about how much money we make. It's not how much we know. It's about being wise with the simplest things. Yeah. You know, and like I said, going back to the woman is the crown on your head. You know, we are as the way that we are as Christians, we are not gonna attract people that, how am I gonna explain this to you? There's gonna be people that are attracted to us, but because of the way that we are, you know, there's so many things that women our age or if you're a guy, I'm speaking as a guy, I'm a married guy, thank the Lord, you know. But as a guy that you're single and you represent Christ, there are gonna be a lot of things about you that attract the women, you know, and it's your character, your maturity, your way of thinking, you know, and your heart that is centered. Yeah, you know, something that I've understood is that doesn't matter what age you are, Christian is known as a person with a centered heart. Going back to identity. A Christian could be 10 years old, but he has a centered heart. Yeah. You know, a Christian could be 12. He has a centered heart. Yeah. And that centered heart is God-given, you know. So that's how we are identified. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Now, when you get older and you hit that maturity and you hit that, you know, the muscles start coming in and stuff like that, that mustache, Cantinflas mustache starts coming in and everything, you know, you will attract a lot of attention, not by your physical, but the spiritual that's inside of you.
You know, I remember when I came to church, I came in with everything I had, you know. I was working my full-time hours, college full-time, and church. I gave it all I had.
I remember, bro.
And I was in musical too.
In the music ministry, yeah.
Yeah. No, in the music institute.
Yeah,
I was in the music.
You're going to
school. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, that was during the weekend.
That boy was in the buffet. His plate was full.
Like you were saying right now, I remember there was. I was looking for God. I wasn't looking for no girlfriend or anything. But there was girls coming up and they were like, "Oh, you look different. You know, you're glowing or whatever." And then someone told me, they were like, did you start going to a different church or something? Because I remember I had told her that I was I was in a church, but I didn't.
You weren't happy there.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, because the thing is, they were telling me, like, sometimes when you have the Spirit, when you're full, or when you identify yourself with the Holy Spirit, you glow.
Yeah, yes.
And you attract people.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's what we should do. The single people. Instead of focusing on looking for a girlfriend or looking for girls out there, look for God first.
Yes.
Because all of that, there's...
Dale, papa, dale!
Yeah, speak.
There's a example that I always tell kids, or I always tell people. Imagine that you're running a race.
Yeah.
Why are you running?
Right? You're running a race. The goal is God, right? I'm trying to be serious here.
Bro.
The goal is God. You're running a race.
Right.
The goal is
Imagine this in your head. You're running a race. The finish line is God. Right?
Yeah.
Then you see a person next to you running. A female.
That thing is dumb, bro.
Okay, the goal is God.
You see someone running next to you and you're attracted to them, right?
Okay.
Keep on running.
Okay.
You know, always raise your head and see if they're still there.
Okay.
Eventually you'll meet up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll meet up.
Yeah.
But both of you are still running for the same goal,
All right.
which is what? To get to God,
Yeah.
right? But if you're running and you see a person, you keep looking at your goal, and you look again and she's not there anymore, that wasn't meant.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Facts.
I like that. That's geometry 101.
I remember speaking from speaking from a single point of view. I remember whenever I first came to church, I actually
I like
had
that,
a
Alex.
girlfriend.
I really like that.
I actually had a girlfriend,
Pick up.
and it was whenever she didn't know anything about God. She didn't know anything about church. So it was I brought her up. I don't know if you ever actually saw her.
You will see one.
Huh?
You will see one.
Yeah, it was an unequal yoke. And so I remember whenever I brought her, I was trying to take things seriously with God. I'm like, man, in my heart, I'm like, God, I wanna seek you and find you. I don't want to just be at church and just sit. And I told her, like, I'm gonna start going to church, and it's either you're gonna come with me or you're not.
Wow.
I was serious about
Man
it.
of authority.
Yeah, sometimes you have to set the thing straight.
Yeah.
And so she's like, yeah, I'm gonna start going with you. She wanted it because of me, not because of her, not because of God. I mean,
Yeah.
but I wanted her to come to church because of God and not because of me. And so it got to a point where she would just argue with me anytime I brought up God. She's like, it's because I don't agree with some stuff. And I'm like, all right, let's communicate, let's talk. What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't want nothing to do with church or God. So I told her, you know what, this is it. And this is the thing. I prayed to God and I asked him, God, if she's the one for me, keep these feelings that I have for her.
Yeah.
If not, take these feelings away. Just rip them. I don't care. The next day I woke up, I had no feelings for her. And so I was
That's
like,
God working, man.
I know.
That's God
I know.
working,
and,
bro.
and I said that with a sincere heart.
That happened to me exactly like that too.
Hey,
I
man,
did a prayer like that too. A week later.
Hey, man, because whenever you say something to God or you ask God for something with a sincere heart and that you're trying to please him, he's going to do it.
I mean, I'm speaking from my point of view. In the beginning, me and my wife, we had a lot of troubles as knowing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Age had a lot to do with it and stuff like that. But I had feelings for her. I was like, I love you. You complete me, stuff like that, Don't tell her I said that. But but it was a time where like I felt like I was trying to go against, like, I don't know, trying to cross like a big old mountain.
Mm-hmm.
Like I couldn't, So there was a time where I was like, I'm just gonna stop. I was like, it's forced, or it's not supposed to happen, it's not supposed to feel like this. I'm just gonna give up, But something kept pushing me, even though I was like, I'm not gonna talk to her anymore. I'm not gonna, I'm done with her. I don't love her and stuff like that. Something kept pushing me back to her, So that's when I got tired and I ran, and I wasn't the best Christian. And I era tibio, I was lukewarm, but I still had that respect for God. And so I ran and I started praying, and I was like, God, if this is from you, help me make this right. If this is from you, if you have a calling for us, then help us, make this work. And let me tell you, man, it was a bumpy road, but look where God has taken us, by that by that decision that we have that we took to take whatever we had right there and the dreams that we had in the future and put that in God's feet.
And I like that you said that in your prayer. You said, help me make this work.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, and this is kind of going back to one of the first things that we said in the beginning, we don't like being wrong. We have pride in us, and we don't want to admit our own faults. So the fact that you said, help me make this right, is, some people say like, man, this dude has the Bible says, Jesus said it, man, you got a speckle in your eye. You got a little piece of wood right there in your eye, but you don't see the big old log that you have in your own eye. You want to point out other people's flaws when it's a tiny little thing.
Come on.
But you don't see that big old problem that you have in your own face.
Yeah, man. That's so true. And I feel like our way of being will not only guide us to the appropriate person, but it will also help us save a lot of people. You know, I've said that we don't have to have a mic. We don't have to preach. We don't have to, sing. We don't have to minister in order for people to understand that there's more to life than whatever they have. Wherever we go, we can by just being us, we can bring a little bit of light, a little bit of hope, to the people that we're at.
And it's happened whenever we go out to eat in restaurants.
Definitely.
We have our own normal conversations, just how we're having a conversation right here.
Yeah, it's been like this. Like we're just sitting down, drinking our cup of coffee. We're over here chilling, and then we're just like, hey, man, service today was awesome.
Yeah.
Service today was amazing.
That's how this whole podcasting.
Yeah.
Too, that's the whole
Yeah,
idea.
we would just go out to eat and we're talking like, man, why don't we just make a podcast?
Yeah, and be like, man, this feels so deep, man. It makes me want to
'cause
cry. We need to record this.
To
Record yourself crying? You didn't record none of the conversations. You cried.
Y'all
guys-
get me?
You guys see who the mature one is here, right?
We need one, bro. We need one.
We need somebody to center us.
And it all goes back to our examples. Like
Yeah.
you said, it doesn't have to be we don't need a mic to talk or give advice to people, to the young. It's just by the way that we walk or the way that we portray ourselves.
Jesus says, what you put in your mouth goes through your body, goes out your body.
Yeah.
What comes out of your mouth comes out of your heart.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people, and I remember you told me this a couple years ago, but to this day, I have it engraved in my heart. A lot of people don't read the Bible. They don't read the word. The only word that they'll ever read is you.
Dude, I know God works this way because I've been playing basketball. I've been playing basketball, and people have understood that we are Christian.
Yeah.
And not only that, they like being around us, and we always attract people.
Yeah.
We go play at this church that's right here, and there's always people there. And and back in the day, there used to be a lot of people, and they would play with us, and they would like us.
Yeah.
People of all ages, kids, just like youth, and just like young adults, and even adults.
Yeah.
And they just like the ambience which we are in.
Yeah.
Because you gotta understand, every person that does not have Christ is trying to find solid ground,
A foundation.
where they can rest and just chill. But you gotta understand that these people are trying to do it or trying to find it with their own strength. The only person that can give you solid ground is Jesus.
Yeah.
And us at a young age have found it.
Yeah.
Us at a young age, we may not think of it much. We may not think it's big, but we have found it.
I mean, we have solid ground to stand on.
We have solid ground, but not only solid ground, that we've started building in that solid ground. Every time we give ourselves to God's work, we start building for our future. You think that I'm just preaching to preach just to waste time? No, I know that I'm building in the foundation which is Christ. You think just by me singing, even though I'm not the best singer, and sometimes my voice is gone, like right now, I ain't gonna lie, my voice kind of hurts from yesterday. But why do I do it? Because I know that every time I'm doing it, I'm building on the solid ground that I found in Jesus, So think about it. So many people are gonna wait till the last minute to find Christ. They're gonna live
when they're in their deathbed.
When they're in their deathbed, they're gonna do whatever they want to do in this world. Lose their
Their shame, their dignity. Everywhere.
They're gonna lose their dignity and everything.
Yeah.
But what have they built? Because you gotta understand that Jesus said, in the house of my fathers there are muchas moradas hay. There's so much place for y'all.
Yeah.
He says, I'm leaving, but I'm gonna create a place for y'all to go. I'm a Spanish preacher. No.
We're all mainly Spanish. So.
Yeah. So I'm trying. But you gotta think about it. It also says that whenever we go up to heaven, we will be crowned
according to our deeds.
According to our
what we
deeds
did.
on earth.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get no plastic
Crown.
no plastic crown, man. You know, I'm trying to get something real.
Yeah.
You know, and I want to have pride that day where I get crowned, where I'm like, you know what? Even though these kids hated me, bro, but I spoke the truth.
Yeah.
I made a difference.
And this is literally what you spoke yesterday. You know, if I'm gonna preach and I'm gonna preach the truth, and people want to stand up and leave, you know, it's okay because I wasn't preaching to them.
Bro, it's happened, man.
Yeah, I know because I've witnessed it.
No, you know you're doing something good when people rise up against you.
Yeah, they either rise up with you or rise up against you, and there's no in between.
There's no in between, you right?
So, you know, you said if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it to please God. If I'm gonna preach the truth, it's because I'm preaching what God has put in me, and I'm not gonna filter it or try to alter it or anything. And if people don't like it, well, that's on them. You know, I did my job in preaching it. If they like it, you know, glory to God, they're with the vision. If I'm gonna sing, I know, you know, you said you don't have a good voice. I know I don't have a good voice, but you know, I sing and I sing to please God.
Right.
And I know that he backs me up when I do it because, you know, I can feel him and I can feel his presence. And even though my voice isn't the best, I can see when people cry, and they're not crying because of my voice, but they're crying because they feel God's presence.
Hi, David.
And you know, just knowing that God backs you up is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know, because in our own weaknesses, he can shine.
Yeah.
And you know, and you said something that you want to have something to back you up. You know, God is my identity. He's my rock. He's in what I can lean to.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever people are over here whispering this and that about me, I'm like, God, you know, I don't care what they say. I care what you say about me.
So true.
You know, I lean my heart, I lean my eyes, my ears, you know, I lean it all to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're what keeps me up, not these people. You know, they might praise you. You know, people might praise you. But if you're doing things just to please them, what good is it? You know, at the end of the day, whenever I go to heaven, you know, God's going to say, oh, you already received your tu recompensa. How do you say that?
You receive your
reward.
You whenever
your reward.
If you receive the people's praise, you already received your reward. Mm-hmm. But I don't receive nothing but what the people.
It's like something that I was telling you. You remember? I forgot where we were at, and I forgot what we were talking about. But I remember that I told you, you know, if I would pay you, then God can't pay you.
Yeah, that's basically.
If I pay you, then God can't pay you.
Yeah,
you know, because we all want to receive that credibility. Yeah. You know, and I know you said it as a joke. I remember you were like, I forgot lo que se dijo, pero eso es lo que yo te dije. You know, and I was like, if man can pay you and man pays you, then God can't pay you.
Yeah.
How many of us have been seeking credibility? How many of us have been stuck in that mindset? Like, hey, man, you know, I just want to be seen. I just want to have a title. I just want to be out there.
Man, that makes a difference. Either you're up there to preach or you're up there to be a star.
To be seen. Ooh. Heck yeah. And you gotta understand, the Lord says, I will not share my glory with no one. So either you're gonna receive it yourself or God's gonna receive it. Why do you think there's so many preachers that nothing happens? Why are there so many preachers that nobody comes to the feet of Christ? Why? Because they're so focused on them. You know?
I want to sound good. I want to look good. I want to use the best words, the best vocabulary.
You know,
they're doing it so that they're seen.
You want to be the next Stephen Furtick or whatever.
Yeah,
you know,
Steve Furtick. Yeah.
Heck no, man. You know how much stress Stephen Furtick? Do you think? How much stress do you think he feels? You know, how much
he's pressured.
He is pressured. How much you think he's gone through to get to that point? You think it's given? You think it's given?
It's
no.
not from one night to the other.
No.
It's a process,
bro. It's one thing to be liked because you're in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one thing to get famous because you've done a bunch of movies. It's so hard to be at that point by preaching the word of God, because the word of God either destroys or constructs or edifies, right? You know, it's hard to get at that point while preaching the word of God. It's so important that y'all understand that we are not doing this because
we want people to see us.
Yeah. We're doing this because God
has
demanded us to do right. You know, so
we are a vessel
in
which we are here to give to spread God's word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Facts.
the only thing we are. And that's one of the things I always ask God. Use me in whatever way. I don't care. If it has to be to clean the church, if it has to be to clean the restrooms, it doesn't matter.
Anything, man.
As long as it's something that you're using me through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, man. It's just, you just gotta let yourself be used. I said that yesterday. Doesn't matter if you're preaching, doesn't matter if you're singing, doesn't matter if you're cleaning, as long as God is using you, as long as He's, using your hands to do something. And I just want to say, we've been live for an hour and 30 minutes, man.
For real.
Yeah, time flies. I'm telling you, time flies. And I feel like this is gonna be a blessing to every single one of not only guys but girls as well that decide, I want to understand, the mind of a guy.
Yeah.
Because so many people are like, hey, oh, you this, you that, but they don't actually understand that we are wired differently. I've heard this, and I'm gonna turn my camera on. I have
so you can see me.
Yeah, so you can see me. They say that a woman's mind is like this. One cable leads to another, and this other cable leads to this, and this cable leads to that, and everything.
A woman's brain is actually a tiny bit smaller, but their connections between their left hemisphere and their right hemisphere are better than a guy's.
Right. So they say that the woman's is connected more.
Yeah.
Together, entwined, and then a guy's mind is like boxes.
Yeah.
Boxes. We cannot think of two things in the same time. We either have to open a box, look in it, and then if we got to think of something else, we have to close that box and go to the other box to open it. A woman can think of 3-4 things at the same time.
And then talk about something completely different while their mind is over here.
That's why I get frustrated with my wife, because she's talking to me about something, but then she's like, I forgot to text this guy. Oh my God, did you see what happened? And I was like, what? Finish what you were saying. But I feel like this will be a blessing to every person that watches this. This will stay on our page, so share. We wanna get this. We wanna preach the word of God in a way so that everybody understands it. We want to, teach everybody to be the best Christians that they can be, and not only that, change the ambient where they're at. I feel like it's important for us to do that. Do y'all wanna say something before we head out?
You said ambient. We're all called, as a Christian, you're called to change the atmospheres. And what do you mean by that? Sometimes, I don't know if any of y'all have like a group of friends where, you get close to them and you just feel tension. You feel like just being judged just because you're there. As a Christian, we're close. So I might make fun of Alex, I might make fun of Junior, but it's never to bring them down. It's just that we're so sincere with each other. We just open up like that, but we don't judge you. And then in the back of my head, like, oh my gosh, this dude is here. Like, wow, really? No, we have there's a certain freedom and a liberty between us, and that's what we're called to do. We're supposed to bring that liberty out to other people. That freedom, that you can express yourself. And I'm not talking about the Constitution where you get freedom of speech type thing. Nah, it's like you can just be you. You could just you don't have to try to filter yourself. You don't have to try to make yourself perfect. Just be you.
Mr. Alex.
And I guess for closing, I think the only thing I can say is that all of this right here was brought up because we hang out together and we start talking, and I feel that that's how it should be with everyone. You out there with your friends or whatever, if you're close with them, we'll start talking about God, start talking about life.
Or what's going on?
Be a soporte. Be a support.
A pillar of support.
Be a pillar of support to each one of you. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. Like we said, this is guy talk because we're all guys here. But this is not just for guys. This is for girls as well.
Yeah.
For sure.
We're out here to show what we've learned in our young ages.
Young ages, yeah. I'm young.
In these years that we've been here, we're not perfect.
Oh, definitely.
By any means, we're not perfect at all.
Definitely not perfect.
But we each have our little
grain of salt.
Right.
So we can make a difference in someone's life. And so, I guess that's all I can say. Be the difference.
Right.
Be the light.
Be the light. I like that. like you said, this, like every time we're together, we always end up talking about God.
Yeah.
We always end up talking about stuff that we've heard, stuff that we felt, stuff that God has given us. And I feel like that has become something natural for us.
Yeah.
And this is where all this started, you know. And what we want is for Guy Talk to be a open room, you know, where guys can just be guys, you know, and girls can see guys be guys, you know, so that we can bring clarity to so many things. You know, there's so much pressure now in days, and this is what I'm gonna finish with. There's so much pressure to perform, but in a guy's life, there's so much pressure to show that you're a guy.
Yeah.
You know, because there's so many. There's a yeah, there's so many there's so many now a movement that like, oh, what type of gender are you and stuff like that. Yeah. And now you feel forced to express and show who you really are. I don't feel forced to show who I am. I just am who I am. Yeah. You know, I walk my walk, you know, and I talk my talk, all because, you know, it's not mine, it's God's. Yeah. You know, that's, I imitate God. I try to imitate Jesus, and that's who we are, and that's why we do what we do. So in order for us to be able to feel free in this world, in our own skin, you know, my best advice to you is imitate God. Don't imitate a celebrity. Don't imitate a friend. Don't imitate anybody. Imitate Jesus, because that is the manliest man I know. Yeah. You know? And
you know, the beautiful thing is that, you know, whenever you pray and you ask the Holy Spirit, you know, I want to be more like Christ. I want to be more like you. You know, in the world, they point at your flaws and make fun of you. Mm-hmm. But the Holy Spirit, he'll point at your flaws and be like, I know a better way of doing this. Yes. I know a better way of you know, building this. And he'll help you. He'll point out your flaws, and don't feel like he's rejecting you, but he's just letting you know an area that you can work and be better. Right. And so that's the beautiful thing. You know, just ask him, you know, what can I do? What can I change? What can I do right now? Yeah. To be better and to be more of an example. And that's how we live our life. Just, you know, our way of being is trying to be better. Never being comfortable. Yeah. And so for today, that's gonna be our topic. You know, I
mean, if you're watching right now, or if you're gonna watch it after or whatever, leave a topic that you want us to talk about, right?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
Comment a topic. Doesn't matter if you're gonna do it right now or if you're gonna do it after all of this.
We'll be looking at the comments.
Yeah. Just leave something that you want to hear us talk about or anything.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't have to be in the comments. It could be
Instagram, Facebook, SoundCloud.
Yeah, SoundCloud. Hey man, that's SoundCloud, man. We gotta start again. Yeah. But yeah, this was so for next week. We're gonna have what separates us as Christians is our way of thinking. So that's for next week. That's for next week. So every single one of y'all share this video. Hopefully, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed.
And safe travels to Giselle. Whatever.
Safe travels, man. Hopefully y'all make it there on time. Every single one of y'all subscribe, and let everybody know that we are doing our Guy Talk through YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. Mm-hmm. Hey, I like that. Otro tema. How to know la voluntad de Dios. So important.
How to know the will of God.
So important. So every single one of y'all, we love you. We love y'all. Keep y'all's comments coming. And man, we'll see y'all.
And the next time.
Peace. Love y'all.